Lona Cohen, a US-born legend among Russian agents, almost exposed her own spy ring on her very first mission as a courier due to her absent-mindedness. Throughout her illustrious career, Lona, along with her husband, enjoyed a prestigious position in Moscow's circles, where they trained the likes of Jack Barsky and a new generation of Russian sleeper agents in the art of infiltrating the US. Returning home to Manhattan just weeks after America's bombing of Japan in 1945, Lona Cohen left a chalk mark on a wall to signal her Soviet handler that she had successfully completed an urgent mission in New Mexico. At the age of 29, Lona was an atomic spy, taking over from her husband Morris, who was drafted to fight in World War II. She relished the role-playing, considering herself a talented amateur actress, despite occasionally forgetting her lines. During her mission in New Mexico, Lona encountered Ted Hall, a spy working at Los Alamos Laboratory. However, she struggled to recall the pre-agreed recognition phrase, "Excuse me, would you know which is the best resort for respiratory disorders, Sandia or the Rio Grande?" Fortunately, she managed to recover and establish contact with Hall, who handed her a diagram of the world's first atomic bomb for delivery to the Soviets. This was just the beginning of the thrilling drama that awaited her. The most perilous part of Lona's mission came during her train journey back to New York. Officials were inspecting suitcases on the platform, forcing Lona to hide the A-bomb drawing and envelope among tissues. She then handed her Kleenex box to an inspector while she looked for her ID. Panicking that the tissue box might smell of catfish, she instructed the inspector to hold this. In her haste, she forgot the box and had to quickly think on her feet. Poking her head out of the window, she faked a sneeze and held out her hand, pretending to need the tissue box back. An officer ran alongside the moving carriage to return it, allowing Lona to breathe a sigh of relief. And so, with a wave goodbye as the train departed from New Mexico, the legend of Lona Cohen was born. Born in a small-town Massachusetts in 1913, young Lona always dreamt of the bright lights of New York City. Leaving her Polish Catholic family behind at the age of 15, she found work as a governess and embraced atheism while experimenting with socialist politics. Her path led her to the Communist Party, where she met her future husband, Morris. Described by the British double agent George Blake as a very, very resolute woman, very determined, Lona was both savvy and resolute. Lona and Morris stood out in Ruislip, a London suburb, where neighbours gossiped about Helen's unusual choice to wear trousers instead of the typical 1950s house dresses. The Krogers strategically called themselves Canadian, but conversed with thick New York accents and mysteriously declined invitations to Saturday evening parties, coincidentally the same nights Gordon Lonsdale, also known as KGB officer Konon Trofimovich Molody, visited and stayed overnight. In 1954, beyond the idyllic bubble of Ruislip, the naval base in Portland, England, conducted confidential submarine and sonar research for NATO, including work on designing Britain's inaugural nuclear-powered submarine. The Portland spy ring operated covertly, consisting of Helen, Peter, Gordon, and 2 Portland-based operatives with military connections. The Portland spies conveyed intelligence to Gordon in London, who then relayed it to Ruislip, where the Krogers used a hidden upstairs transmitter to send the information to Moscow. Another transmitter was discreetly buried in their backyard. Lonsdale asserted that the Portland spies had passed 350 test pamphlets on anti-submarine equipment, including information about the UK's nuclear submarine fleet, as indicated by MI5. The Admiralty believed that the intelligence passed from Portland to Moscow significantly aided the development of a new, stealthier generation of Soviet submarines. After a tip-off from a Polish defector, the British authorities contacted their American counterparts, who later confirmed that the fingerprints of the supposed Canadian Peter Kroger matched those on the US military records belonging to Morris Cohen from New York City. At this stage, the couple traveled on New Zealand passports. Britain's Secret Service swiftly moved in and apprehended all 5 spies. Lona, under her alias Helen, and Morris, known as Peter, found themselves imprisoned for 8 years. However, a spy exchange with Moscow led to their release before completing their 25-year sentences, paving the way for the next phase of the Cohens' enigmatic and globe-trotting espionage endeavors. The Moscow authorities warmly welcomed back their heroes, entrusting them with the crucial mission of training the next generation of sleeper agents skilled in seamlessly blending into American life. In the 1970s, Lona and Morris enjoyed a semi-retired lifestyle, alternating between their residence in Poland and a comfortable apartment in Moscow's fashionable Arbat neighborhood. In this capacity, they also served as instructors at the prestigious KGB training school. Among their fellow spies, they held a special status akin to undercover royalty, a fact vividly recalled by former sleeper agent Jack Barsky in his biography Deep Undercover. In 1976, Barsky was introduced to a visibly aged Lona Cohen, who, at 67, bore the marks of his time behind bars. Nevertheless, his voice resonated with vitality, and his handshake retained its ironclad grip and unwavering determination. As Lona entered the room and exchanged greetings with Barsky, her determination seemed to outshine even that of her husband, leaving an indelible impression on the young protégé. The couple took delight in conversing freely in American English, savoring the opportunity to pass the torch to the next generation, of which you are a part, as Morris expressed to Barsky. We will assist you to the best of our abilities. Barsky diligently immersed himself in the study of American language, lifestyle and customs alongside the Cohens, meeting with them regularly. In a rigorous 2-week one-on-one training with Morris in a modest 2-bedroom apartment, they engaged in lengthy discussions about the United States, the Soviet Union, and the state of affairs worldwide. Despite the occasional challenges, Barsky cherished the experience, stating, "The 2 weeks we spent together were an overall success. The chance to hear and emulate an American male speaker significantly enhanced my English pronunciation. I felt ready for the next stage." In 1978, Barsky, now adopting the identity of East German KGB spy Albrecht Dittrich, seamlessly transitioned into Jack Barsky, a New Yorker with a German mother, deceased, explaining his faint accent. He even obtained the birth certificate of an American boy who had tragically passed away at the tender age of 5, completing his metamorphosis. Subsequently, Barsky embarked on over a decade of living deeply undercover, skillfully concealing his true identity until the FBI ultimately apprehended him. Meanwhile, the Cohens embraced a well-earned retirement, enjoying the comfort of a pension. Lona passed away in 1992 at the age of 79, followed by Morris in 1995 at the age of 84, both remaining married and unapologetic. They took immense pride in having masterminded the exclusive Soviet ring dedicated to atomic espionage. "Am I a traitor?" Lona pondered from her hospital bed, according to Operation Whisper. Although she grappled with this question throughout her life, she adamantly denied it. "I didn't kill anybody, and I didn't disrupt American life. No American soldier lost their life because of my actions.